Coinbase securing registration as a restricted dealer in Canada today. This means that the crypto exchange meeting regulators' requirements for crypto asset dealings and can operate legally within the country. This comes as Coinbase is facing a regulatory crackdown here in the U.S. To break all of this down and what this means for the crypto industry at large, we want to bring in Faryar Shirzad. He is Coinbase's Chief Policy Officer. Faryar, it's great to see you again. So just to make it clear, you now have two entities in Canada. You have Coinbase Canada with an international dealer's license, and then you also have Coinbase right now registered as a restricted dealer. Talk to me just about the headline news of today and how big of a boost do you see this being for your platform and crypto adoption?
Oh, it's a really exciting development. Canada's a very sophisticated market. The adoption of crypto across the population has been enormous. And like in every other market, Coinbase is very committed to being a compliant, regulated market player and working closely with the Ontario Securities Commission and the Canadian Securities Administrators. We're really pleased to have been able to get over this really important threshold and now be able to operate in this market with regulatory clarity and give our customers the confidence they need to transact. So huge development, really important, and we're excited to be here.
Faryar, to what extent do you and your colleagues anticipate today's news coming out of Canada moving the needle in other jurisdictions, particularly thinking about here in the U.S.?
Well, unfortunately, the U.S. has been an outlier. Most of the G20, 80+% of the G20 and major market economies are moving pretty aggressively towards adopting pretty clear regulatory frameworks around crypto. So most of the financial centers and most of the major economies, the EU, UK, Hong Kong, Australia, Singapore, Brazil, and now Canada. So the rest of the world has accepted and is adopting tokenization, integrating it into the financial system, very much with a view towards serving the interests of the consumer. And the US, we're on a bit of a slower track. And I think that's really one of our big headline messages, that the US really needs to get going, both on stablecoin regulation as well as the regulation of the broader market structure. And I think that'll allow the industry to the US to grow and develop, and for consumers to get the protections they deserve.
Speaking of regulations or a pathway here forward, next week on Tuesday, April 9th, we know that the Senate Banking Committee has a hearing scheduled right now on countering illicit finance, terrorism, and sanctions evasion. Talk to us just about what you're hearing from policymakers right now and how confident you are that we are going to see some movement on this front.
There's a lot of momentum behind a stablecoin bill, and we're hoping next week's hearing in front of the Senate Banking Committee will hopefully be the catalyst to finally get that commitment to get something done into a real sort of legislative vehicle that we can see to create a clear federal framework around stablecoin issuance in the United States. 98% of the stablecoin market is dollar denominated. The center of stablecoin issuance should be in the United States. Legislation would help make sure that happens, and we hope that Congress moves. So hearings are useful, but legislation is ultimately what needs to happen. The administration says they want legislation. Members of Congress in both houses, Democrats and Republicans, say they want legislation. And I think we're way overdue to actually get some bills done, and we're excited to be a part of the process.
And I know that part of that process is happening right now with the SEC. Having said that, last week, as you know, March 27th, this ruling in the U.S. that will allow the majority of the SEC claims to proceed against Coinbase with $1 billion at stake for the firm. How confident are you that Coinbase can win in this legislation moving forward despite that setback last week?
Where our goal as a company, and Brian Armstrong has said this all along, has been to get regulatory clarity. We can get that clarity in the courts, or we can get it legislatively. I spent a lot of time with members of Congress and with officials from the administration. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. There is a chance, as I said, that we could get a stablecoin bill, even in the matter of the next few weeks or months, potentially. That's a long shot, but it could happen. And I think we'll see, for sure, important movement in the House on a market structure bill. And so legislation's hard. It's designed to be hard in the United States. And I think every step that we take is helpful in that regard. And I think we'll take some really important steps over the next few months. There's 52 million Americans who own crypto. They deserve the protection of legislation and regulation. And hopefully Congress and the administration will step up and provide that to them.
Faryar, there was a recent poll conducted by Paradigm, the crypto investment firm, asking voters whether or not former President Trump or President Joe Biden would be better for the crypto landscape if they were elected in 2024. I'm curious, do you think either Biden versus Trump would be better for crypto, and if so, why?
Well, I think this whole election season's been great for crypto. You've had so many candidates who look around, see that there are 52 million Americans who own crypto, that they deserve to be treated with respect, to have a clear federal rule so that you don't have the overreach of regulators like the SEC coming after them. And you've seen candidates from all sides of the political spectrum, Democrats, Republicans, step up. The presidential candidates haven't spoken that much about it. RFK Jr. has. A number of the Republicans in the primary did in very forward-leaning ways. And we're hoping over the next few months we'll see President Biden and President Trump both take the opportunity and connect with the 50 million Americans who own crypto and let them know that their agenda is on top of mind for them. And I think that would be a really important political development.
Faryar Shirzad, we always appreciate you taking the time to join us here at Yahoo Finance, Coinbase's Chief Policy Officer. Thanks.